at the map. Okay, my name is Captain Reza. I was in the Air Force before, so I'm an airline captain.
Yes.
As I see, this is on the takeoff path, and I flew many times on this route. So it had something went wrong after the takeoff, right straight to the takeoff path.
Yeah.
And it crashed. I don't know what happened. Investigation is underway. It is too early to conclude anything, but I'm sure there will be findings in the future. My prediction is that the aircraft has had some kind of mechanical trouble after the liftoff.
How high would the aircraft have been, Captain Reza? Is it possible to tell what altitude the aircraft would have achieved before crashing at this distance?
Yeah, I think it's about 7 to 8 miles. It should have gone up to like between 5 to 7,000 feet.
Group Captain Ahlawat, I want to bring you in on this right now. The map shows us that this aircraft has taken off, and it's almost a straight line parallel to the runway to that school where it crashed about 7 to 8 kilometers away. You know, we do know that it's difficult to speculate. Many things may have happened. There could be bird strikes. There could be, other things that may have happened. What is your best guess with the very limited information we have right now?
Shiv, good evening, and let me start this with heartfelt condolences for the pilot, his family, and the victims on ground. You know, a warrior has gone down with the state today, and as a friendly neighbor, our heart goes out to the pilot, the squadron, and also the victims on the ground. Okay. And having said that, you know, that is the thing with single-engine fighters. F-7 BGI is the same family of MiG-21s. China call it J-7, Pakistan call it F-7 PG, Bangladesh uses a similar version of BGI. Not exactly same, but similar. So it was a typical single-engine fighter takeoff profile. The aircraft got airborne, went straight up. And considering that the airfield is very close to populated areas, there would be some restriction on when the first turn towards the sector or the area of operation could be executed. So typically, you would want to get away from the ground and far from the town before you execute anything. In this particular case, it looks like after getting airborne, since there is only one engine, the pilot had trouble with that engine. We don't have access to the communication between the pilot and the air traffic control. But should something go wrong, the immediate option with the pilot is to eject, because there is not enough altitude to fix the engine, kind of shut it down and relight it. But we've seen it in India as well as other parts of the country. As a pilot sitting in the cockpit, when you see the entire city laid in front of you, there is a tendency to kind of steer the aeroplane towards an area which looks clear of population. It is quite possible the pilot, probably thought of pointing the aircraft in a direction on an area which could cause least amount of damage on the ground before attempting ejection. And probably, I'm just speculating, by then it was too late.
Really terrifying to even imagine that the pilot, seeing what was in front of him, may have valiantly tried to steer the aircraft away to an open area. And by then it was too late to eject. I'll come to the question on ejection in just a moment. But Captain Reza, the F-7 is a fighter that is considered to be the mainstay of the Bangladesh Air Force. It is a derivative of the MiG-21, which we in India also operate. What is the reputation of this aircraft, sir, in Bangladesh? In India, the MiG-21, there are many mixed views about it. There have been many accidents as well. Is the F-7 also an unsafe aircraft, as some people believe it is?
I wouldn't say that, because the MiG-21, when they did the reverse engineering on that, when I was in Air Force, the Chinese people came and we had MiG-21 from the Egyptian Air Force back in the 70s. So they tore it down in front of us, and they have been doing this reverse engineering. When this was bought first time in 1988, I believe, or 89, the whole new batch came in. We did not have many of the trouble flying those. And there later on, it was two more squadrons were bought in 2006, I believe. And after that, there was no induction of any other new Chinese aircraft into our system. But we had MiG-29 that were brought in the mid-90s.
Yes.
About 8 of them, and there is a big case in High Court regarding the corruption that took place. So those were also old and brought it from Kazakhstan and made it serviceable, sold it to Bangladesh Air Force. So out of those one squadron that we had, we have only 3 flying. So in last 16, 17 years, no aircraft were inducted in the main fighting force. So they were flying these F-7s, which is BGI today, the one crashed. They worked with the Chinese technicians, engineering, and they did all kind of maintenance. So this is the main force, but I wouldn't think so because MiG-21 is a pretty successful aircraft. But again, you're flying for too many years in India. I used to work in SpiceJet India. So I had many colleagues from the Indian Air Force. So they have been flying those. Those are also old.
Correct.
So airframe has a life. Everything has a life. So I think this is merely an accident that took place.
Merely an accident, I agree, because only an investigation will go into the precise reason for why this particular aircraft went down as well. Group Captain Ahlawat, now coming to the question of ejection, the F-7 has an ejection seat. In the public mind, one often hears that a fighter has crashed, but the pilots managed to eject safely. In this particular case, you touched upon that. You said it's possible that it was too late by the time the pilot could have ejected. Could you elaborate a little bit on that? What a pilot in such a situation, in an emergency at not very high altitude over a built-up area, what would the things be going on in a pilot's mind, before the option of ejecting?
In my service of about 21 years, I have seen more than those numbers of ejections. I've seen ejections taking place on ground and also seen ejections taking place at high altitude. It's a split-second decision irrespective of where it happens. Why did not a pilot eject is something we will never know, because we always find an answer, why did somebody eject? Because that guy is there to tell us. But why did somebody not is something we can never know. We can only speculate based on the trajectory the aircraft flew after catastrophic failure of engine or some avionics or controls. So we would probably never know. In a study that was done at IAM and also at AMTC Henlo, which is an RAF, they looked at aspects of, they considered 2 vectors. One is fear, another is comfort. Pilot not pulling ejection handle, worried about the injuries that it might cause, and also looked at the comfort the cockpit provides. And it was again a speculative study. Sitting in the cockpit, underneath the shelter of the canopy, you feel things are all right, and you can probably bring the engine back to life, or you can somehow control the aeroplane.
Wow.
But it's difficult to kind of say with certainty why did the pilot not eject. It could be trying to recover the engine, trying to control the aircraft, or maybe trying to steer it into a direction which causes least casualties on ground. We would never know, and again, difficult to say.
Very true. Captain Reza, could you comment on this ejection aspect as well? Accidents do take place, but these are split-second decisions that are imposed on fighter pilots. And like you said, if he was flying at only a few thousand feet, that amount of time would have reduced drastically.
Yes, what I hear from my Air Force buddies, I called them up, and the instructor that cleared him for the solo flight today, he was in the mobile hut. So he was trying to come. When he saw something is not right, the aircraft is having trouble, he tried to say, eject, but there was no communication. My best guess is that the communication system also failed. With the failure, the communication system also failed. So, the pilot takes decision, but again, on the ground, his instructor will be also a good judge to give a judgment. A lot of the times it happened the pilot on the ground would say, hey, listen, you eject, and they have done it before. So he even couldn't communicate. But I saw a video in the social media. I'm not very sure if this is the video. They say the aircraft is just nosedived, and there is something went out, an object outside, which looks like an a Martin breaker ejection system. That I'm not very sure if that is the case.
Final point to you, Group Captain Ahlawat. I'm almost out of time on this tragedy. It occurs to me that this is also in some ways a reminder, of these aircraft that continue to be in service in the region, which many would argue have no business flying anymore. Of course, the Air Forces will never risk pilots. Ultimately, these are airworthy aircraft in the technical sense, but these are aircraft from a bygone era. And it is a reminder once again that these MiG-21s and their derivatives perhaps don't belong in modern air forces anymore.
Shiv, warriors don't choose the weapon that they fight with, especially in modern democracies. Coming to the point of ejection, there is a requirement to steel your will and cold professionalism in situations like this. While flying the Hawk, which is single-engine trainer with two-seater, we used to brief our pupils as instructor. If things go wrong, I will call out eject, eject, eject 3 times, giving you an opportunity to eject first, so that your chance of survival is higher. But if you come up on radio and ask me, confirm eject, sir, I won't be there. These are actually split-second decisions. And when you got to go, you just got to go. When in doubt, there is no doubt.
Terribly, terribly sad. But thank you, Captain Reza and Group Captain Ahlawat, for putting this into perspective for us. From our side and from on behalf of all Indians, we offer our deepest condolences, to the casualties on the ground, to the pilot, to the crew, the squadron, etc., that have lost so many lives today in Dhaka. It truly is a very, very sad day for any military, and we do offer our condolences and will continue to put the spotlight and ask the questions and the larger ramifications of military aviation safety. Thank you very much for being with me. A fighter crash that has shocked the entire world has taken place just a few hours ago in Dhaka, the capital of Bangladesh. The horrifying fallout of this fighter crash that has killed 19 people in a school compound. A Chinese-made F-7 fighter jet of the Bangladesh Air Force, the mainstay of the Bangladesh Air Force, smashed right into a junior school, killing 16 students, the pilot, and 2 other people. 16 young students in a Dhaka school have been killed by a crashing fighter aircraft, making this one of the worst aviation tragedies in Bangladesh for certain, and almost everywhere else in the world as well. This fighter jet lost control. We don't know what happened, but it crashed straight into the school. 19 people are dead. Prime Minister Modi has issued a statement condoling the deaths of 19 people, including 16 young students. This was a made-in-China fighter aircraft called an F-7 that was supplied to the Bangladesh Air Force many years ago and continues to be the mainstay of the Bangladesh Air Force. This is a ground report from just a short while ago.
At least 19 people were killed as a Bangladesh Air Force training aircraft were crashed into a school and college campus in the city at Uttura. And it's a name Milestone School and College, and already 50 severely injured students were admitted into Dhaka Medical College Hospital. And if I want to show you that, you see the Bangladesh military, Bangladesh Air Force, and different wing of Bangladesh law enforcing agencies are here to assess the students, and there are many obstacles in the school, and there are the students of Milestone School and College. They are in front of the campus, and they are trying to rescue the students. And already more than 50 people, including children and adults, were hospitalized with burn. And the incident occurred in Milestone School and College in Dhaka, northern area of Uttura. Officials say that Bangladesh Air Force F-7 BGI training aircraft crashed in Uttara. The aircraft took off at 6:1. The military's public relations department, ISPR, said the media, and already the DG, Director General of Rapid Action Battalion, said to the media that 19 people already died, and more than 50 people are injured in the hospital, in different hospitals. And you know, the officials of Dhaka Medical College Hospital said that more than 30 people were in more than 30 injured students were admitted at Dhaka Medical College Burn Unit, and the AMZ hospital is situated in Uttara, and they also admitted 10 injured students, and the combined military hospital also admitted 5 people. And you see, there is a military officials, and they also trying to assist this incident, and this incident is totally human incident, and we will try to update you time to time. Thank you, Batan Biplab from Dhaka, Bangladesh.
Horrifying images right there at that Dhaka school in which 19 people, including 16 students, have been killed. This is the aircraft that actually crashed. It's called the F-7. It's a mainstay of the Bangladesh Air Force, supplied by the Chinese, who have always had very questionable quality when it comes to military hardware. This is the fighter of the Bangladesh Air Force, for reasons so far unknown, that has crashed straight into a school. Now, I want to show you where this aircraft took off from, because there are many unanswered questions right now. It took off from the Hazrat Shah Jalal International Airport in Dhaka and crashed straight into the Milestone School and College campus just about 7 kilometers away. Literally on that trajectory, parallel to the runway, the aircraft took off almost like a ballistic missile, if I can say that. Takes off from there and crashes 8 kilometers away straight into the school. We still don't know whether it tried to move away, whether there was some other kind of emergency, what altitude it finally reached before crashing. And you may be wondering, viewer, why I'm talking about a fighter aircraft crash in another country. Fighter aircraft crash all the time, right? Well, not every time does a fighter crash result in the deaths of 19 people, 16 of them school students. And this is a made-in-China fighter, remember, and China supplies these fighters to Bangladesh, Pakistan, and other countries. Here are the questions I'm asking, and then we will bring in fighter aircraft veterans who can explain or help us understand why this may have happened. Number one, why didn't or why couldn't the pilot have ejected? The F-7 is known to have an ejection seat. This was a trainer aircraft, but only one pilot was in it. Why did the pilot not, or was he not able to eject? Number two, why did this fighter aircraft need to overfly Dhaka? Now, this is an aircraft like I showed you in that map, which was taking off from the international airport in Dhaka. So obviously it needed to fly over Dhaka itself, though there may have been some restrictions. We will know once the investigation happens. Number three, did the pilot stay in the jet to attempt a diversion away from a built-up area? Was he trying to avoid